Good evening from the Philippines. Well, the news around Dramageddon is about the vlogger from Estonia. Got himself in trouble by just being a jerk, really. Interviewing poor people, making fun of them. Being a little bit too touchy-feely, handing out money for treats with younger children, and something going around that he had relations with a young girl and recorded it secretly and then published it. I'm not sure where he published it, but also my wife told me on TikTok she saw a vlogger girl who went for coffee with him twice, that he creeped her out and took her off past the coffee up to a mountaintop and was trying to kiss her and stuff, and when she didn't want to, he took her even further. But anyway, somebody was walking down the road. She managed to sidestep that one. So whether he's a rapist or not, probably not, but trying to pressure vulnerable young Filipinas, yeah, I think so. So don't need guys like that in the Philippines making us all look bad. We'll see what happens. I know they searched his place, grabbed his computers and phones and cameras and stuff, but I don't know if they took him to jail. I'm curious about that, so if you know, post it in the comments. But anyway, I wouldn't want anybody convicted for more than what they did. And this just wraps around back to that Vital guy. He was, a jerk and making fun of people and embarrassing people. But this is my humble opinion, his punishment doesn't fit the crime. He's been in jail a while now, and that place is rough. So they're making an example out of him. Oh, hey! Now everybody saves gas going down the hill. Everybody knows me here in this barangay. But yeah, he didn't injure anybody. As far as I know, he wasn't, other than being a jerk clown, didn't do stuff to scare anybody so much or physically intimidate them. So, but yeah, I think they just ought to let him go. He's being made an example. And this next guy, he's coming along at the wrong time. They're liable to make an example out of him as well. So it's summer here in the Philippines. It's like, what is it, January 7th or 13th? Somewhere in between there. Because, when you don't have a job, you don't have to keep track of time. Some days I don't even know what day it is. But, all my life I knew what day it was. I need to go to work. But I don't have to work here now. That being said, actually starting to file for my wife's visa for the USA. Even though we go back to the USA, I'm going to have to work. I got to start up another carpet cleaning business, unless of course I become some vlogger and make money, which probably don't think so. But I miss the USA. I miss it being clean. What's funny, I miss the cops. There's no cops here. And so the news lately has been bad. Girls hog-tied up by the port in Bacolod, raped and killed. They found this 9th grader the other day. I'm sure she was raped with her head cut off. And they just deposit these young girls' bodies in the sugarcane fields. I mean, just look at it. This is my field right here, where it stops where it's a little taller, and then it stops where it's small right there, and it goes way back. We just harvested this one, and it's starting again. We're going to harvest the one in the back shortly. We have one more. But yeah, we have a baby, almost 2 months old. He's a boy. Has a little bit less to worry about unless somebody kidnaps him, throws him in the white van so they can steal his organs. That happens as well. So if you're thinking about coming to the Philippines and retiring with a beautiful girl you find over here, you might want to think twice. Because I've been here 2 years. I can't wait to get back to the USA. People are nice here. The people are great. My wife's family's great. And here in the province where my wife is from, everybody's very nice to me, very accepting. Not many speak hardly any English though, so it's a little rough for me hanging out here. That's why we were in Bacolod for 3 months. But yeah, there's a lot of things. Like in the province, you're not going to have any food that you want. A lot of low quality things, like you can't hardly get butter. It's always margarine, and foods at restaurants. It's pretty terrible. What I get mostly is roasted chicken breast and wing together. They call it pachu manok. That's the breast part of the chicken roasted, and that's pretty good. It just comes with rice, white rice or garlic rice, and then some soy sauce and vinegar and pepper and calamansi, which is kind of like lime. You mix it all together and it makes like a really good dipping sauce for the white meat. You know how that can be a little bit bland even if it's marinated. That's my go-to. But you know, you meet a girl online and she's beautiful and cute and sweet, and like my wife, her TikToks, she's dancing around so cute, she's so adorable. I can't believe that I'm going across the oceans to meet this girl. And then when I got here, spent a month with her, I got engaged to her right away because I'd been in a long distance relationship with her long enough to know what kind of girl she was. And it wasn't my first rodeo. I almost got married once before to an older Filipina, but we just didn't quite make it. But you can come here and get a great wife. And a lot of people like it here. If you just don't want to stress anymore, don't want to work, you got enough Social Security to get by here. You can get by on 1,500 if you're lucky and you got a pension or Social Security of 2,000. Like mine this year went up. It's 2,150, I think. That's plenty enough to live here in the Philippines with no worries. That's if you're not going out partying and buying beers and clubs and things like that. But that's just going to get you in trouble here. It's a nice place to come visit. But yeah, I would warn anybody, if like in my sense, I was like, okay, times are tough. I lost some of my retirement money when I sold my company and COVID came along, and I only got half the money for my business. And I said, oh, well, I got this beautiful girl over there and I can live good on just my Social Security and a little nest egg I got. So I'm just going there. I'm going to stay. And then I'm here 2 years, Can't wait to get back to the USA. I dream about it at night. So it's just a little heads up. You need to come over here and try it before you buy it, dude. See this landscape? Oh, it's beautiful. Here in the province, but there's absolutely nothing going on. You can hear the sugar cane grow, and that can be nice at times. But just up the road, back in our little enclave, on a weekend or people get paid, you know, maybe they're singing very bad karaoke right when you're going to bed. The chickens and the roosters are crowing, the dogs are barking like nuts because there's 50 dogs outside your door because there's no population control on dogs. They just roam. They're a menace. And you try to drive a motorcycle down the road, one is liable to zip out in front of you anytime. So that's very dangerous. Driving here is at your own risk, day or night. At night, nobody has lights. I mean, half the people don't have lights, especially in the province. And nobody observes, you know, smart traffic rules. They pass going over hills, around curves, and if they got a car, they think they can push you over, or a bigger truck. There's a lot of reasons you won't want to live in the Philippines, but you can do it. I'm going to go travel around some here before we head back to the USA, some of the more beautiful spots, and see if I find a place I fall in love with. And I want to check out a few other places like Baguio up on the mountain where it's cooler, maybe even BGC in Manila where it's metropolitan and clean. And not far from us, we're in Escalante, Negros.
Hey Joe!
Hey! Over in Iloilo, the city itself is supposed to be very clean and not too far from some nice beaches. So, you know, that's a draw here. But the beaches are far and few between here. Most of it is just dirty, muddy sand. With the tide going out, it leaves, you know, 300 feet of mud. So the beaches, they're not that many. What you see on YouTube is just like the tip of the iceberg. The rest of it is, it's kind of yucky, to tell you the truth. And then where the white sand is, those are kind of more expensive. That's where they build the resorts and things. And, resorts here that are really nice, they're as expensive as a lot of other places. Like you can get a decent place for $100 a night, but you can easily spend for a 5-star $500 a night here in the Philippines. You'd think maybe you could get it a little bit cheaper, but you can't. Not 5-star. You don't need that. But my advice, mess around online, talk to some girls, come over here, meet some girls. Take your time, try to find a good girl. If you want to live here, fine, but don't sell your house in the USA. Don't cut your ties until you've been here at least a year, because my bet you want to go back and live in the USA if you have the ability. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope I offered some decent advice. Talk to y'all later. Bye bye.